Good morning, seventh graders. It's me, Mr. Stark. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about what the differences are between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell. Um, so there are different types of cells. Prokaryotic is kind of a what we call more of a primitive type cell, and eukaryotic is more of a up-to-date cell. So if we break the words down, prokaryote, pro means before, karyotic means nucleus. So before they had a nucleus, so these are primitive cells. Eukaryotic is true nucleus. So they have a nucleus. Okay, they're a little bit more organized. Um, Basically, some differences. Prokaryotes tend to be smaller in size. Eukaryotes are larger in size. They're more developed. Prokaryotes are unicellular. They're only single cells, one cell. Eukaryotes can be unicellular and multicellular organisms. So all multicellular organisms are going to be eukaryotic cells. So you, your dog, your cat, those are all going to be multicellular organisms. In a prokaryotic cell, a well-developed nucleus is not present. Not. Okay, you can kind of see that the nucleus is just thrown in here inside the cell. It's wrapped up in one big wrapper, and the nuclear material is in the inside. We get over to the eukaryotic cell. All of the nuclear material is enclosed inside of this nucleus, which has its own little wrapper or membrane around it. So it has a well-developed nucleus with a nuclear membrane. Okay, so all the DNA is just kind of thrown into a bucket over here, and the DNA is all encased inside the nucleus over here. Okay, so there's a little bit more development on this side. Prokaryotic cells are simple and primitive in nature, and eukaryotic cells are much more complex in nature. Prokaryotics are like the ancient cells, the first cells that were on the planet, and eukaryotic are now today's modern, fully developed cells. The last difference that they have here is that when the cells divide, or when the cell copies itself, the DNA does not shrink down into chromosomes. It just copies itself. Over here in a eukaryotic cell, the DNA material shrinks down into chromosomes that are formed, condensed down into chromosomes, and make it a little bit easier for copying and organized for making sure that everything gets copied properly. I like to make a comparison of the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, comparing them to different kinds of candy. I usually talk about Halloween candy, or right here I've just got two different examples of candy. So and the difference is how the packaging goes. So in this is a package of Skittles. Okay, it has one wrapper. Okay, one container, one thing that holds it all together. And then once you open up that container, all the pieces of candy are just thrown into the bucket. Okay, so this is kind of like the DNA in the prokaryotic cell. It's just thrown into one wrapper. One container contains everything. Okay, not very organized, very random. But then we compare it to a bag of Tootsie Rolls. Okay, there's still one wrapper encasing or encompassing the whole thing. But once you get inside, each individual piece of candy has its own little wrapper or membrane. Much like if we go back to the eukaryotic cell and we look at this guy right here, each one of these different organelles in here, the nucleus, the Golgi body, the endoplasmic reticulum, the ribosomes, everything that's in there has its own little packaging, its own little wrapper. This has one big wrapper, and everything's encompassed into that little baggie or that wrapper. Here, everything's individualized individually wrapped, has its all these different organelles have their own membrane. Okay, so the Skittles with the one membrane and no separation is like a prokaryotic cell, and a Tootsie Roll bag like this is like a eukaryotic cell, one big wrapper, and everything is individually wrapped inside of the main wrapper or cell membrane. So there you have it. That's my comparison of a prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Hopefully it helps you understand, make a grasp of what the differences are between those, and you have a great day.